Well, it can't get any worse than that shite at Tottenham on Sunday, can it? So onwards and upwards. Wolves match preview. Welcome back to another video on the channel, Newcastle fans. If you are new to Black White Banter, you've stumbled across us on YouTube, then drop us a like, drop us a subscribe right now, and also make sure you get us on Facebook and Instagram, where the posts are every single day. So, Friday night football, not my favourite day to get to the match. Call me old-fashioned, I like the Saturday at 3 o'clock, but it's a big one. It's very big. Every game is big. And we are now finally coming into a run of some home games. Now, if you'd gone back 6 months ago, I would not have even bitten your hand off for a home game, because the last place I wanted to be was that toxic atmosphere at St James's Park under Ashley and co. But since Howe and Amanda and co have come in, home games are now in our favour. I think the atmosphere is back. The buzz is back. War Flags is back, and I love being in St James's Park again. So it's great. It feels like we've been playing away from home all fucking season. Southampton, Chelsea, Everton, Tottenham. It's just gone on and on and on. The lads have never had a game at St James's for ages now. So that's in our advantage now. We've got Wolves, we've got Crystal Palace, we've got Leicester. We've got all the home games coming thick and fast. And quite honestly, for me, every win now, potentially, is just that tiny step closer to pretty much guaranteed safety. Burnley result on Wednesday didn't do us too many favours. I know everyone's wanting Everton to slip further into the shite, the Scousers, but I feel like if we were to beat Wolves on Friday night, we are literally almost there. It's like we can touch it. It's like literally so close. And I think that's how important Friday's game is. And I look at Crystal Palace, I think that's a difficult game midweek. Leicester, obviously we know the quality Leicester have. And I think Wolves, yes, they have a very good defensive team, I think. I think it's going to be hard to break them down. They are going to be set up quite well against us. They're going to know exactly what we're going to bring to the table with regards to St Maximin, if he plays. I'll touch on that in a second. And, you know, the physical presence of Chris Wood. It's going to be a difficult game. But are Wolves beatable at home? Of course they are. We now know that Eddie Howe, how we can play on our day. And it's a huge game. In this relegation battle it is. If we can get 3 points, we are almost safe. And that makes me so happy to even say them words if we can pull a win out the bag. Because that's another step closer to the proper rebuild of Newcastle United. Get rid of the dead wood and go from there in the summer. It's always been the aim. Whatever your opinions are on Eddie Howe, it's getting to the summer, staying in the Premier League and building from there. And that's one step closer we'll be if we win on Friday night. So, team news, Eddie Howe. By the way, I thought Eddie Howe was fantastic at his press conference. Talked about Tottenham and how disappointed he was, how he's gone back to the drawing board a little bit. Exactly what I want to hear, because that second half was shocking. And I liked it, but he didn't talk about too many injuries. Willock, he said he's been playing with the same knee injury he's got now for a couple of weeks, so he might throw him in again, who knows. Almiron's back, doesn't really change much. I don't think Almiron would start the game. He'd probably be a substitute, so there's a couple more options off the bench, but I generally think the team will stay the same. Defence is going to stay the same, and what happened in that second half at Spurs, we're still not sure. I'm still not sure. It was a total abomination, if I'm being totally honest, compared to what we've seen lately. Now, it's a big word, but it was. We were soft, we were poor in our marking at back posts for some of the goals. The space was massive. Dan Burn was getting caught. And yes, we've all sung Dan Burn's praises, me included, and he's done a cracking job since he's come in. But no player is immune from criticism just because he's a Geordie. He has been at fault for some of the goals recently. And I think he maybe needs a reality check, as the whole team got against Spurs. And we know there's a fantastic defender in there, because he has been brilliant for us with Fabian Schär at centre-back, and that's why the results have picked up since he's come in. But, you know, he's not been doing great the last couple of games compared to what we've seen previously. So, again, he maybe needs to have a word with himself there. And overall, if we defend like we did in the second half at Spurs, Wolves will beat us. There's no doubts about that. They've got quality. They've got Jimenez. I'm glad to see the back of Traore for Wolves. I know he never created that much quality and product, but he was still a nightmare to play against. So he's no longer a problem for them. But they do have quality. They really do. You know, I'm a big fan of Neves in midfield. I'm a big fan of Martinho. So midfield's going to be an interesting area. Now, there's talk about Bruno coming in. For me, Bruno and Shelvey should not play together. That's my standout opinion. I think they are too similar. They like to collect the ball in deeper areas and carry it. We are going to be a little bit too susceptible to Wolves breaking forward if we play them two together. I hope I'm wrong, but I read enough about Bruno when he first signed, when he was a player I'd never really heard of much at Lyon, that he was very similar to Shelvey. So I wouldn't play them two together. If Willock is injured, I would go with Joe Linton. I would go with Bruno. I'd go with Joe Linton, Bruno, maybe even Longstaff just for his defensive work. I don't know. But Shelvey and Bruno to me are dangerous. And I think against Southampton, it looked like they didn't really suit each other. I know we won the game. Now, St. Maximin, should he play? It's the opinion. It's causing Eddie Howe to answer questions on it in his press conference. For me, he's really not lighting things up at the moment, is he? And I'm getting more and more frustrated by him. And I think our frustration as fans is warranted. We are all accepting that he can do wonderful things with the football. We are all accepting that he has done wonderful things for us in terms of goals, assists. But what we are also accepting is that he's on his arse a lot in dangerous positions and leaving us a man short when he can just get back up because there's nothing wrong with him. His decision-making is still poor. He's trying to do too much with the football. And I think at the moment, because of that, he is not suiting Eddie Howe at all. So for me, I think Friday night is his one last chance now to really show us what he can do. And I think if he doesn't, I have a strong feeling Eddie Howe might lean against putting him in from the starting line. Because if there's one thing Maximin can be, it's an impact sub. And I'm just not sure whether he plays into Eddie Howe's ethos in terms of getting over that line in the relegation battle. He's a luxury. Can we afford to have a midfield luxury like Maximin, who doesn't want to defend, likes to carry the ball more than what your average player would be in that midfield position, who might pass it and release it straight away and keep the ball? He's a luxury. He's a luxury for any team. And I think if we were to stay up, he's a luxury we can afford to have more when we're not fighting a relegation battle. That's how I see it at the moment. And I really hope he proves us all wrong. I hope he starts on Friday, scores an absolute worldie taking on two players and runs them ragged like we saw against Everton at home. If you remember when we beat them 3-1, he was fantastic. So I think he will play, and I would give him another chance. But if he plays anything like he has been the last couple of games, it's almost sometimes like you're playing with one less man in midfield. I've always said, if Maximin is up for it, Newcastle are up for it. And that's what those are the vibes I get. Apart from that, I wouldn't really change much. Everybody had an off day at Spurs. Joe Linton was pretty bad. Fraser was quiet. Chris Wood probably had his quietest game for us up top by himself. Did very little. So I just want us to wipe the slate clean from Spurs. Move on from it. I've got no doubts Eddie Howe will have battered the hell out of them after that Spurs game with a bit of that on the training ground. Drilled into them the basics again. And I do still think we can get a win against Wolves and things will be looking rosier in the garden than what they did on Sunday when we were all gobsmacked to see a 5-1 scoreline at the end of the game. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Newcastle win tomorrow night. 2-1 and get us just over the line. And I'm going to also go for another Chris Wood goal. Just because I'm feeling frisky, I'm going to go for the scorer. If you are new to the channel, Newcastle fans, let us know in the comments what you think the score is going to be tomorrow. Whether you'd play St. Maximin, because let's face it, it's a big fucking talking point at the moment. And if you go into the game, let us know. And just whatever you want to shout about in the comments, let me know and I will get back to you straight away. And get us on Facebook and Instagram. And fingers crossed, our weekend at 10:30 is going to start lovely with 3 points and another step to that lovely summer of rebuilding as a Premier League club fighting off relegation. Good night, Newcastle fans, and fingers crossed at St James's Park for tomorrow for a big 3 points. Away the fucking lads.